Welcome to Oklahoma City, Christian.
I'm happy to be here.
You're facing a former title challenger in Jared Cannonier this weekend. Do you see him as the biggest test for you yet?
Yeah, I would say so. Naturally, I've progressed in the UFC, and my opponents have risen. This will be my most experienced fighter that I've fought. You know, a guy that's fought for the title, as you mentioned, and fought some of the best in the division. So I look forward to putting up a good performance against him, as he deserves, as such a respectable fighter here in the UFC.
And then he just had a fight with Michael Venom Page. Did you learn anything from that matchup when you were watching it?
Yeah, a lot of his fights, to be fair. We done a lot of studying on Jared Cannonier. There's a lot of film on him and how he's kind of adjusted and changed and both grown from being a heavyweight down to middleweight. That fight with MVP was an interesting one for sure.
And then he is 42. He's lost 3 of his last 4 contests. Do you still see him as the same fighter that he was previously in his career?
Yeah, you say his age 42, but not many 42-year-olds look like Jared Cannonier. You know, he's well experienced, and over the years he's kind of refined the way that he fights. It hasn't changed much, but he's very good at what he does. And I've treated him that way. You know, our approach preparing for this fight is if I'm fighting the best version of Jared. Yes, sir.
Hello. All right, cool. What's up, man? So we asked Threads on UFC at UFC to fans to give you some questions. Here's what the fans came up with. First question: how does it feel being in the top 15, and who do you plan to face after Jared Cannonier?
Man, it feels as it should, being here in the top 15. You know, it's a place that I knew that I would get to. It's kind of like a milestone here in the UFC. You know, it's not the final, but it's definitely a milestone that I appreciate. Sorry, repeat the second part.
And who would you like to face after Jared Cannonier?
I'm not really looking ahead of Cannonier. I've put a lot of respect on his name, and our approach has been that way. And then I'll look at who's next after this fight.
Cool. The next one is, what do you think about Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee, the legend. My coach is wearing his T-shirt in the back there right now. Yeah, Bruce Lee, I grew up watching a lot of his films, actually, as a kid. My dad had the VHS tapes of Enter the Dragon and back in the day. So, yeah, I'd be trying a lot of those moves out as a kid, just messing around with my friends, man. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee.
Cool. Do you prefer a chippy or a Chinese?
Chippy.
All right. What round do you see yourself finishing Jared Cannonier in, and do you see it with a vision of a certain striker technique?
Man, the way that I fight could be a variety of things, but I would say it's going to be an entertaining fight from the start, however long it goes.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Christian. So I was talking to Jared a bit yesterday, and you just kind of said he's kind of fought the same way his whole career. He said yesterday that he's planning to kind of get out there, and he said, I want to get things cracking before he can even get some punches off. So it sounds like he's going to come forward and come straight at you. What do you think when you hear those words?
It sounds exactly as I thought he would do, especially against somebody like me. You mentioned how he fought MVP and similar guys with a length like myself. It makes sense to have to close us down, to try and take space away. But as I said, this is something that we've planned for.
Is there like what's the relationship? Is there one between you and MVP? Because they just announced he's fighting Ruziboyev this morning, so it looks like he's staying at 85.
Okay.
Is that, like, if that ever gets offered, is that a fight you take, or?
That's an exciting fight in itself. I've been a fan of MVP before I was even in mixed martial arts. Back when I was even just casually watching, his style is exciting. If we cross paths, we cross paths. But I hold a lot of respect for MVP. And
then I know, like, certain fighters that kind of want to get their licks back, right? Gregory Rodriguez is facing Fluffy Hernandez in a main event coming up pretty soon. Who do you have in that one?
That's an interesting fight. You can never count Rodriguez out. I know Fluffy likes to push a pace, so it's kind of one. It depends who can apply their game. I would say the best in that fight there.
Cool.
Christian, this weekend marks 10 fights for you in the UFC, and you're gunning for your 5th victory in a row. So, at this point in your career, like, how do you feel? How this version of CLD? How do you feel at this point in your career?
I feel as if I'm constantly evolving, day by day, week by week. You can see me one week and you see a complete different version the next. I'm just evolving at a fast rate. We've got a good team around me, good training partners, and a mindset that's going to take me to that contender position and then to the title. I take each fight as it comes, and I'm looking forward to putting on a performance this Saturday night for the guys in Oklahoma City.
And then last one, with the style that you possess, how important is that evolution that you just talked about, bringing different pieces of you and different fundamentals, or at least different parts of your game to each fight?
Yeah, it's the fundamentals, as you mentioned. I come into the game quite green. I didn't do martial arts as a kid. I was playing basketball before I got into the sport. So my athletic ability took me a lot of the way to begin with. But now I'm at this level, everybody else is kind of at that kind of athletic level. So now it's about the small refinements in technical ability and fundamentals, like you mentioned. And this is what's giving me the edge now in my growth. Yes, sir.
Good? Yeah. Perfect.
Appreciate you.